The following is intended for mature audiences only. May contain strong language, crude humor, adult themes, and suggestive material.
Clown. Shit.
Hey, I'm Jake Bradbury.
And I'm Will Blank.
And we are 20th Century Fox, a film collective that produced 16 short films. And for each film, we made a behind-the-scenes podcast. On today's podcast, we have Tracy Doring, the star of the short, and Kevin McBride, the biggest helper we could ask for. This episode is all about how Will and I helped bring Tracy's idea to life, and we teach her all the things that go into making a well-made short, like the importance of lighting, sound design, using B12 as a substitute for cocaine, and then if you tell me I'm like David Fincher, you can pretty much get me to do anything.
All right, let's go.
Who's all with us today? We're doing Girl Interrupted today.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm Will.
Oh, I'm Tracy.
I'm Jake.
And I am Kevin.
Cool. So Girl Interrupted.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, how did this... Who had the idea for this one?
Who had the idea for this one?
That
was
would
that?
be
Was it
the
Jake?
girl, yeah.
Oh, Tracy.
Yeah,
Tracy.
that would be me.
Okay.
All right, so tell us, how did you come up with this idea? What was the idea originally?
Yeah.
Well, originally it was just when fuckboys would text me if they could come over, I would send them a Christina Aguilera, like, yeah, come on over. And then I was like, how could I extend
There was no hesitation. You were
No
just like, come
hesitation.
on over, every single one of
Yeah,
them.
and she had like the little dance move too. Oh, it kills.
Come on over.
So I would just do that, and I was like, how can I make this longer? And then I made up the whole scenario
What's the whole scenario?
of a guy just randomly texting me when I'm definitely not ready to see anybody, and then me getting ready to see him, getting my apartment clean, you know, not too clean, getting myself snazzy, but like not too snazzy.
Where did the
And
cocaine
then-
idea come in?
That would be Jake. That would be
That was
definitely
you?
Yeah,
Jake.
really?
No,
Yeah.
that
I
was
think it was.
me.
I think it
Oh,
was
was it
both
Will?
of us. Sure. I think it
Because
was
like the logical next step is cocaine.
Yeah,
There's
'cause
no way.
You were
Will's-
like, we need something else.
Will's question
Yeah.
is always the same, no matter what video we do. He goes, "Right, that's good, but what else?"
Yeah. how can we do
And we
There's
go,
one
all
more
right.
thing.
Yeah.
We
It
need to
does
do
need
one more thing. We need a little more from
And it
this
did.
song.
So initially, the plan, what was it going to end with when you didn't have the cocaine, or did you not have an ending?
I don't think we really knew. It was just
You didn't know until we sat down that night and
no. We talked about the cocaine before.
Yeah, I think we
thought.
figured out the idea before we got there. But I remember dragging all of the equipment there because we didn't have Alejandro, who's our usual DP, and I was a little upset about that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this real serious, and I'm gonna shoot this whole thing, and I'm gonna light it. And
You took it very seriously.
I did take it very
Very
seriously.
seriously. You like barely smiled. It was like just lots of
Yeah, there was no fun being had from me.
no.
Yeah.
Everyone else was having fun, but I wasn't having
Yeah.
fun. No, I had plenty of fun because Kevin would keep saying every time I did a shot, he'd be like, "That's like some David Fincher shit
And
right
I
there."
didn't know
man."
that was your first time doing that.
I
So
was
you
like-
must have been like, "Who's this Kevin guy? Bring him back."
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he called me David Fincher.
Yes, made me feel so good. Seriously,
That's what I thought when I looked at it, holding the boom. I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta be with these guys. No matter what the fuck they film? This is so good."
I did really have a fun time with it. I did really, and if you notice, the lighting's not bad. It's not bad. And Alejandro actually, after seeing it, gave me a compliment.
All right.
He said that it was.
Wow.
He said that it was adequate.
But
No,
we
no.
also were. You were like, okay, so we wanna light it and make it good.
Yeah.
And that also meant that this took way longer than any other video, basically, because I mean, I didn't think it was going to, but then when you introduce lighting into it, you have to constantly set up for the next shot.
Every
You
That's
shot.
like
the
what
camera
everything
up and
was.
go to the
Like,
next
you would
thing.
just hold the camera and like I would just run back and forth to the lights. And you're like, "No, turn that one down.
Yeah.
No, that one up.
That one up, that one down. Yeah, when you don't have a full team, it's like everyone's just got to be multiple things all at once. But I remember Will saying like, we're gonna be done by midnight, and I was like, nah, man,
No.
Yeah, we were.
add
definitely-
like 4 more hours to that.
If it wasn't for the B12, I would have been dead by the end of that.
That's right, the
Right,
B12.
because the cocaine was not actual cocaine.
Right,
It was
Fun
vitamin
fact.
B12.
B12 vitamin in powder form is what every Hollywood movie uses for cocaine
I think
when
that-
people actually have to snort it.
Scarface used it, right?
Everybody. Tracy, you want to tell us a little story about picking up the B12?
Okay, so I went to Vita World or whatever, something like that, and the already ground up B12 was like over $100, and I was like, oh, I don't need to get that.
They
They
sell
do.
it. They sell it in powder form.
Yes.
Over
And
the
then-
counter, like you don't need.
For $100.
Yeah, for
or
over
more.
$100. So I was
you
like,
can get
okay.
real cocaine for that price.
Yeah. So I was like, do you guys have like pill form? And he's like, oh, it's over here for like $9. And I looked at him and I went, oh my God, awesome. So I can just like ground this up and snort this then, right? It's not like capsule. It's like a thing. And he was like, yeah.
I guess.
I guess. And I was like, cool, I'll take that. Just like immediately left. So
And then when we got there, we ground it up, and I remember Tracy being super nervous
super nervous.
about snorting because she's never snorted anything.
Oh, no. Well, the take that we did is like.
Oh, no,
the-
like you have?
Oh, no. Well, hold on, because the one that we ended up using where we like slide out the compact and then do it is different than one we had normally done or done originally where I like grabbed it from my back pocket on the couch.
Right.
And you inches from my face and
Mm-hmm.
was like, no, it'll look fine. And I was like, putting a dollar bill up my nose like this? No.
I don't think that was
Did
it.
we not
I
use
think it
that?
was you were nervous about snorting the fake cocaine.
Both. But the first time that I had to try it was like It's a straight on. I was like, God, my mom's
Oh,
gonna watch
God.
this.
My mom's gonna like. Just,
My mom's gonna see this, you guys.
So then I think in solidarity, we all took a big old snort.
Well, it
of
was
the
like
B12.
2:30,
Oh, right, we
2:30
did.
in the morning too. So we like took it and then we got.
Is it recording?
Mine is.
Okay, good. I'm just checking.
Oh.
Yeah. So we tried to do this podcast like 2 days ago, and then we realized one of the recorders wasn't recording, and then we couldn't figure out how to make it record, and so this
The
has
format,
been
the
this is
drive.
amazing. This is even happening right now.
Yeah.
It is.
We know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Is it going to record? Is it going to be there when we're done? Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay, talk about the editing, Will, because the editing, I think, you had to do this like 90s montage sequence with the song. How was
Well,
it cutting to music?
Well, we were sort of
Because I know how much you hate
the
music.
hard part though is that we were getting sloppy as sloppier as the night went on because
we were just like,
getting
hurry
tired.
Up, hurry up, get this over with. We'll fix it in post. All
And,
that shit.
yeah, and I feel like we were condensing our shot list, right? Like we were like, okay, we had all these things we wanted to do, and it was just getting chipped away the later it got. We were like, what about just this shot as opposed to these
like
3
zero
shots?
coverage and just
Yes.
Yeah, and the dressing sequence was different than I imagined, and the makeup sequence was different than I imagined because we didn't really get any coverage. So
No.
I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, how am I gonna
Yeah.
cut
It was
around this?
just that one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
I
very
was
true.
like, I was afraid that it was just visually boring, and so then when I start cutting it, necessary
And
to
it's so rewarding once it's
once
done.
it's done. Yes, it
But
is
the
like
whole
a.
process of it is
It's such a
It's
grind.
so
and-
tedious. I hate it, dude. It's
Yes,
the
it
worst.
is, and
Yeah.
like, and so cutting it to the music was extra tedious because I mean, I just didn't. I felt like I was faking it the whole time. I'm like, okay, I'll punch in a little bit on this beat. I'm trying to cut to the beat. I'm trying to like make it interesting. I had to jump cut all those straight shots on the makeup table, and actually that ended up having a ton of energy, and I was so.
That takes that a perspective of somebody else, just another set of
Yeah.
eyes, because you're so deep in it.
or you've been looking at it for so long.
You're just
It's
looking
like,
at
does
it from
even
like
look
these
different?
very
Yeah.
narrowed in points, and you're like, wait till someone sees it as a broad thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then it like really opened up. But
Yep.
Yeah,
That
and I
definitely
really
came out
just
different.
wanted to keep it moving the whole time. And I was afraid we didn't have enough coverage to do that, which is why I'm constantly popping in and out, which then also hit the 90s music video aesthetic, kind of unintentionally, to be honest. I wasn't
Yeah.
like really going
Is that
for
of
that. I
necessity?
just did it. I mean, I love the idea, and your performance was really good. It just, I wasn't sure if we had the pieces.
Yeah, so many compliments for Tracy on this one.
Yeah.
I think this one is the one that blows her up.
Yep.
So we all went to the we premiered this short film actually at the what is it Unreasonable Shorts.
Yes, or like gasps
Yeah.
too, like when it doesn't get sent through.
Yeah, they're like,
and people do that. I love
Yeah.
hearing that. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Because they're invested, right?
Yeah.
That's
When
what.
they're
What was your first time up on stage, Tracy? Tracy got up on stage with us, and we have kind of a brief Q&A after the film premieres.
What did you?
What was that like?
Oh, I
Well, what
just
was it like in the
nervous.
Q&A, and then what was it like after? Did people come up to you and, talk to you and stuff, or?
They did. A couple people came up and said that it was really relatable, which I was like, I'm so sorry. And but I don't. Yeah, it just got really good response.
Kevin's the man behind the scenes,
I am. I just
pulling the string.
I just say, you need something done, I make it happen. I make it whatever you need.
What else? So we went there, bringing out all
Yeah,
the
that was
dirty in the
perfect.
apartment.
Yeah, that's why you shoot in order, because you can just use everything as you go along.
And we did shoot in order. Yeah, that was just. In last
Yeah.
scenes together.
Right.
Oh yeah, we were saying that like right when we came downstairs, because we were like we had
Yep.
to lug all that shit
Yeah,
upstairs.
But
why
we
did
also
we-
had
Yeah,
to.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I'd have to change clothes and stuff too. Remember?
Like
Yeah.
that's important context too.